So friends, given a new court ruling, we are actually one giant step closer to Donald Trump's first criminal trial actually starting on April 15th. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, Donald Trump and his lawyers are trying every trick in the book to delay the commencement of his first criminal prosecution. But the presiding judge, New York State Court Judge Juan, is having exactly none of it. Let's start with the new reporting. This from NBC News. Headline: Judge in Trump hush money case rejects attempt to delay trial with immunity defense. And that article begins, the judge presiding over Donald Trump's falsifying business records case shot down his bid to use presidential immunity as part of his defense, finding that the former president waited too long to raise the issue. In his ruling Wednesday, Judge Juan also denied Trump's motion to delay the trial start until the U.S. Supreme Court rules on his immunity claims in the federal election interference case in Washington, D.C. Trump had contended in a New York filing last month that he's immune from state prosecution based on official acts, and that some of the evidence against him should be kept out of the impending trial because they were official presidential acts, including his tweets and public comments. Merchan rejected the request, saying Trump had waited too long to raise the argument. Quote, this court finds that defendant had myriad opportunities to raise the claim of presidential immunity well before March 7th, 2024, but failed to do so, the judge wrote. Okay, friends, let's dig in a little bit to Judge Merchan's new court order, his ruling shooting down Donald Trump's efforts to try to delay the start of his trial. It's in the case of the people of the state of New York against Donald Trump, defendant, and not surprisingly, Judge Merchan starts by talking about when motions must be filed in a criminal case under the laws of New York. All pretrial motions shall be served or filed within 45 days after arraignment. Okay, next logical question, when was Donald Trump arraigned on these charges? Turns out, on April 4, 2023, the defendant was arraigned before this court on an indictment charging him with 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree in violation of New York state law. Okay, April 4, 2023. Now, I'll admit I pulled out the 2023 calendar, counted up 45 days, and it turns out Donald Trump's motions were due, in accordance with New York state law, by May 19th, 2023. So when did Donald Trump file his presidential immunity motion, which was pretty much a transparent effort to push the trial date down the road? You know, maybe he got around to it on May 20th, 2023, or the 21st, maybe a day or two late. On March 7th, 2024, defendant filed the instant motion to exclude evidence and for an adjournment based on presidential immunity. So March 7, 2024 was when Trump filed motions that were due on May 19, 2023. So, yeah, that would be well beyond the 45-day deadline in New York state law. What did Judge Merchan have to say about that? Defendant fails to explain why he waited long past the statutory period allotted by the New York state law. He, defendant Trump, was also well aware that the defense of presidential immunity might be available to him. For example, he fully briefed the issue of presidential immunity in his motion to dismiss the matter of United States versus Trump in his federal prosecution in D.C. on October 5th, 2023. He, Trump, also demonstrated awareness that the defense was available to him when he attempted to remove the instant matter, this case, the New York prosecution, to federal court on May 4, 2023. Nonetheless, defendant Trump chose not to raise the defense of presidential immunity until well past the 45-day period provided by statute. He also did not raise it in his omnibus motion, in his motions in limine, or in his response to the people's motions in limine. Defendant's decision is unjustifiable and renders his motion untimely. Further, as an aside, the fact that defendant Trump waited until a mere 17 days prior to the scheduled trial date of March 25th, 2024, to file the motion raises real questions about the sincerity and the actual purpose of the motion. Really? I think Judge Merchan was just being polite. I'll go Judge Merchan one better. The actual purpose of the motion was delay, delay, delay. And it failed. And now jury selection is scheduled to begin on April 15th in the first criminal prosecution of a former president of the United States. And given the strength and the quality of the evidence, even that evidence that has only been publicly reported, and I have a feeling we're going to learn a whole lot more when Alvin Bragg's prosecutors begin presenting their case, I think odds are good that Donald Trump will end up a convicted felon by late May or maybe early June. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.